Good evening.
Hi. Hi, you guys. Welcome to the second week of reconciliation formation for the parishes. We're the Leonards.
This is what we call our fireside chat.
We actually have a fire today, up and down, because it's kind of chilly out. This week, last week, what did we talk about last week?
Reconciliation.
Yes.
Just the beginning part of it. So kind of went over what we
Well, we talked about baptism too, so and what that is. And so the first sacrament you get to renew our relationship with God as humans.
After we are forgiven with baptism, all of your original sin up to that time.
Right. You're back in sanctifying grace. That means you're back in friendship with God. But we mess up a lot. In fact, I think that comes with the territory as people, is we mess up a lot. We mess up a lot every day.
We can, yes.
Yes.
If we don't stay close to God.
We got to stay close to God. If you do not stay close to God, you mess up every day.
All of us are guilty of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's not a person on the earth that is not a sinner right now. Used to be that there were a couple people on the earth now and again. There's probably some
They're pretty close.
that are pretty close to being not sinners. They would end up being saints. But we're all called to that. So we're all called to work towards our sainthood. And that means actually working day in and day out all night towards God's will. So you're taking steps to do your first reconciliation, and that's a cleaning out of all the sins.
Since your baptism.
Since your baptism. So if you think of yourself as a really beautiful crystal chalice, a cup, a beautifully made cup, probably not an everyday cup, but even a better one like that. Kind of like the one you see at Mass, the real fancy gold cup. If you think of yourself as that way, you can put really clean, beautiful, clear, healthy, pure water in there to drink. Or you could put nasty mud and bugs and yuckiness and crud in there. And it even makes the prettiest cup not pretty anymore. Well, that's kind of what sin's like.
Like if you are using finger paints with your mother's good cup. And then when you rinse your fingers off and the cup is all yucky
and
nasty. Went from clear water to brown.
Then if you're mixing all the colors up, you end up with
gray
with a brown or a gray. Yeah. So sin is something that fills you up with yuckiness. And the more yuckiness you do, the easier the yuckiness is to do. So it's very important for us to get our souls, like you take a shower for your body, going to the sacrament of reconciliation is taking a shower for your soul. It's cleaning you out.
Your spirit.
Absolutely. So it's very important. So there's.
And you get back into that grace with God.
Yes, it gets you pure again. So your cup is all nice and shiny in your soul. So, Mr. Leonard, aren't there two kinds of sin?
There are many types of sin, but it's broken down into two types.
Oh, okay.
One is a venial sin, which is a not so bad, but it's still sin.
It hurts Jesus.
It hurts Jesus, but it doesn't separate us. If you do enough venial sin, it becomes a mortal sin, which is the bad kind. But there's even levels of mortal sin.
Oh.
I was reading in the Catechism about.
Do you want to show them the book?
The
Catechism.
The Catechism of the Catholic Church. I have the big print.
This teaches us everything about the Catholic Church, so we're always looking at it.
So I'm always, referring to that, and then what the saints say, and then what the dogma of the church, what we believe, and different things like that. So you just kind of use it all.
So mortal sin is something that has your soul die. Your soul is no longer living anymore, and it's dead to Jesus and God. So they can't really work for you or with you. However, we have this constant ability to go to confession, which is the sacrament of reconciliation, and that is the process of cleaning out those sins. So a venial sin for a little kid.
Like taking money out of mom's.
Stop!
Like taking.
Quit touching me!
Like taking money out of your mom's purse without asking.
Ah! Kind of like that kind of stuff. Just not being nice to your neighbors.
Or disobedient to mom.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm not going to do that. No, I don't want to. Acting up in public, or you're going to the grocery store and you want all the candy and your mom said no.
And then you have a fit when mom says no.
Just being kind of ornery to your neighbor.
Not good.
So you always have to look at sins.
Now, who does that affect? Like when you go to a store and
Everybody
mom says
there.
no and you have a fit, and it disrupts the whole store, basically.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, yeah. And your mom's embarrassed.
Makes mom,
you're looking
and
bad.
It affects everybody. That's what sin does, how God sees our sin. It's like throwing a rock in a pond, and the ripples of the when you throw the pebble in, the ripples reach all the way on the water. It reaches all the way to the shoreline. Well, that's how all sin has an effect. We may not see that effect right away, but it does affect those around us as well as ourselves. So
the Catholic practice is to be very mindful of sin, and what you're doing and how you're behaving with yourself and others. And then you have to look at the things that you should be doing. So there's the sin of omission. So I'm not doing it, but I really should be doing it. So you should be picking up your toys, but what
about we see other people doing that? Should we judge them?
Well, it's not.
If they're not doing right.
It's not necessarily judging.
Right.
It's correcting.
Right.
So you have to be able to identify it. There's only one judge, and in the end, that's. Well, when you're little, it's your parents have to be the judge of whether or not you're doing well or you need to do better.
But as little children, as little people, we see things that are not right, either by our siblings, our brothers and sisters, or by the neighbor, or by even at school and things like that.
So there's this process called filial correction. That's brotherly correction or sisterly correction. And your brothers and sisters are larger than your family. So anybody in the world any other people are our brothers and sisters, because those are our neighbors. So we're all children of God. So if I see people not doing things right, if it is safe and I'm with my parents and it's okay, I can look to my parent and say, I don't think that person should do that. And let your mom decide or your dad decide what should be done. If it is at home and you you have brothers and sisters that are littler or bigger than you, and you see something wrong, if you do not feel comfortable telling them and it doesn't get you anywhere, you have to go tell mom or dad. Now, there's this flip side of things with correction. You have to be able to see when things need to be corrected, because our job here is to make things right. But you also have to accept correction when you're doing things that aren't right. And that is really where the rubber meets the road, is we don't like to be corrected because we don't like to be wrong. But when we're growing and we're getting big, there's a lot of things we have to learn. So from now until you're an adult, you're going to get a lot of correction, and you have to realize that if it's coming from your mom and dad, it's for your good.
Yeah.
So when you get to be an adult, you really have to know Jesus really well. And you really had to have good moms and dads and grandparents and aunts and uncles around you to help you learn what.
Godparents.
Yes, and your godparents that taught you, what was right and what was wrong. And you received all that correction so you could do it well, in order to be a discerning adult that is very charitable, loving in their correction of others. And that's hard because that has to be done every day. And nowadays it's even harder to correct people, and you have to be very, very careful because bad things can happen. Because people
it's a shame.
They don't like us. Yeah, they want less and less corrected. So the best thing to think about with regards to our sin or any of those things that you just know they're not right. They make you feel bad. If they make you feel bad, it's not right. If they're making other people feel bad, it's not right. Things that are just yucky or not going right, those are sins. So what you're going to learn over the next couple of weeks is how to see what is good and what is bad. And when you are personally involved in not doing something you want to do, or you did something you shouldn't be doing, recognizing it for what it is, getting your heart to a place with Jesus where you feel sorry about it, and going through the process of reconciliation, which is a sacrament that Jesus left us.
Thankfully, yes.
Amen.
Yes.
So we left a bunch of videos, some resources on the resource page, and videos on the resource page. You'll see the agenda below this video of what you have to do this week. If you haven't gotten your sign-ons yet, we're still waiting for sign-ons from Melanie. I think that's all in the works. You should be getting those this week. If you're behind, don't worry about it. Just keep plugging away, and feel free to let us know if you have any questions about anything.
If you're having problems or having questions, just let us know.
And then next Sunday is our first Zoom meeting where we're meeting as a group, so everybody will be able to see everybody, and we'll be there to see how you're doing and do a temperature check of how the families are doing. So have a good Sunday. Happy Feast of the Holy Family is today. So that's awesome.
And we have the new year next weekend.
Oh my, it went fast, that's for sure.
All right. Let's pray everybody had a safe and a good Christmas.
Yep.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep, on our Zoom meeting. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
We'll be sending the information out.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.